Ma'am, although I see your point, but I still want you to help clarify why opening so many tabs is not as beneficial than having as many books or tangible resources in front of us.
I opened 10 tabs, and while going through each page that I have opened, don't you feel at some point I'll get lost? That's quite possible. With opening so many things, getting so much information, whether that information is authentic or not, that is also one of the points. When we have books in front of us written by renowned authors, we know the information available in those books is authentic. Wherein, when you open 10 tabs in front of you to take the help of technology, once your job is done, you might tend to forget. But when you sit with books, when you write it down, when you pen it down, it's your own creation.
As an educator, you may have seen children through various stages in growth of life. Has there ever been a point where you've seen a child grow in front of you, but their behavior has deteriorated in some way over a period of time? The behavior could be anything, maybe communication skills or communication relationship with teachers, friends, and parents, or attention span, or academic excellence. So the question is, the child had been excellent all this while, but slowly and steadily, gradually over a period of time, the child has shown detrimental behavior in any one of these aspects.
I've been actually thinking a lot on this as to what could be the reasons for the change in behavior in children.
Reasons, and then what can we do about it also, if you could share and throw some light at?
So, multiple reasons, Sherene. When we bring up children at that particular time, parents are very much involved with their child in every aspect of their child, of their growing up, their schooling. And all of a sudden, when parents realize, oh, I think my child has grown, and they start taking a backward step, that sometimes is the time when the child actually needs the parents' intervention and parents' help, because they are at such a stage where they need somebody to guide them properly and correctly. So at this stage, what happens is the child is lost because there is a lot of peer pressure on the child, the parent thinking that the child has now grown up, they have done a good parenting for the child, they start taking back steps. So the child is lost somewhere, and it could affect him in a low self-esteem, confidence in oneself. If I'm taking this step, whether it's right or wrong, what will people think about it, and the external factors, what will my friends think about this? So yes, there are behavioral changes in children on a few of these aspects, and I feel that yes, these need to be rectified at the right time, because some stages are very crucial in a child's life, and if not taken care of at that time, they may leave a very bad mark on their life.
So, ma'am, what I understand is, you mean to say that parental involvement should be there in a child's life at every stage of their life, because children don't stop being children. Even if they grow older, they will always need their parents' intervention. But then I have a question to this. So then where is the fine line between helicopter parenting, this concept that gets thrown at us very often, where you are overdoing it, you're not allowing your child to make their own decisions, and you are guiding them at every step of the way, and that's not right. So what is the fine line of balance?
The parent should always make the child feel, I'm there for you. That is very, very important. Because when the child knows the parent is there for me, he is going to listen out to me for whatever I have done, good, bad, ugly. So you have to be a good listener for your child without being judgmental. Because sometimes I feel that the circumstances are such that a child has behaved in a particular manner. So this may be this may be circumstantial and not a regular feature with the child. So you have to have that kind of understanding. You have to believe in your child. And about being drawing a fine line, yes, there are certain boundaries that you need to set with your kids. You are their best friends. You have to make them feel they can come and talk to you about anything under the sky. At the same time, I would like to put it in this way: when we are bringing our children up, uh, the basic values that we inculcate in our children right from the small age is what they carry with them during their adolescent and the ages further also during their adolescent, their teens and all. So it is very important that right from a young age the child knows that my parents are there for me. I'm sure whatever your child does as he is growing up, he will make you a part of it. He will be honest with you. He will come and talk to you about things happening in his life. And together as a team, you can work and find out solutions for that. In fact, I would say that at times, when you have a grown-up child and he comes with a problem, the best thing that the parent can do at that time is ask the child, "What do you think about it? Do you think there is a solution for this? If there is a solution, then what do you think is the solution?" When the child starts thinking about the solutions to a problem, I'm sure they come out with the right solutions, and it answers most part of their question. So slowly and gradually, what you are doing is building up the confidence in your child to evaluate what is right and what is wrong and take actions accordingly. I personally feel when the child knows that what is right and what is wrong in a situation, the child will be automatically able to take a call themselves. They can always come back to you and say that, "Mom, Dad, this was the problem. This is how I have handled it. And I'm happy that I have handled it well." So here goes that you have done your job well. And of course, that the child is coming and telling you, it's a great thing, because in today's day, a lot of children are wanting privacy. They don't want parents' intervention, which is sometimes very scary. So when a child comes and tells you what he has done, how has he handled it, respecting that child's perspective and accepting is a good parenting, I feel. As parents, we have a different way of looking at things, but I feel when we were young, and because our parents gave us the freedom to make choices, whether right or wrong, we have made choices, And sometimes by not making a good choice, we have learned our lessons also. So it is very important that the child learns a lesson from making a good choice or not a good choice, which becomes a part of his life. So you are developing in him the power of thinking what is right, what is wrong. If this is right, it's good. If this is not right, then how to go about it. So it is very important um, to have that kind of relationship with your child.
So now that we know that maybe because we've underparented or overparented, our children are behaving in a certain way that isn't the way we would like to see as behavior from them. What can we do to rectify this?
We as parents are also humans, and to err is human. Okay, so we know, uh, we know in our heart of hearts that something has not gone well. There is something that we need to work upon at our end, and there's something which has led to this kind of situation. So the best thing I would say is that there's no harm. There is nothing like saying, okay, I think we made a mistake. I made a mistake. And together we will work upon it and we will rectify it. There's no harm in that, because at the end of it, what are you teaching your child? You are teaching your child that you can also make a mistake. You as a parent can also make a mistake, and there is nothing like owning it up. That is a very important lesson that you're teaching your child. We, knowingly or unknowingly, we can make mistakes. We may have not understood our child, so we may have just said something which has hurt the child or has driven him into something else. So there's no harm in owning that up, and it will teach the child, yes, it's if a mistake has been made, it can be rectified, and there's nothing like owning it up, because otherwise the child will get this feeling throughout for his lifetime. Okay, I made mistakes, but I cannot own it up. So that's not the way we want our children to have that in their life system. So it's fine if you have, if you again reconcile with your child and say, let's work it out again. That's the best thing that you can do as a parent. And that will also give you a self of satisfaction that, okay, I know that I'm again building a bond with my child, and I'm again getting back into with my child's life where he can trust me, he can come to me and talk to me about the things in his life.
In your view, as an educator, in your opinion, what do you think can be fixed in our education system that no one's really talking about or is in a very nascent stage?
Yes, Shireen, in all the years that I have been associated with schools, I felt that each year when we take in new admissions, the little ones are very scared. They go through a phase wherein being separated from their parents makes them very unhappy, and so it makes me also unhappy, because school is a place where children should love to come right from day one. They should enjoy and go back with happy memories. So I feel that at this stage, if we have a system wherein all the newcomers to the school are given enough time or maybe a settling period wherein they come in with their moms or sometimes with their dad, and they spend some quality time in the school environment. So when they come back for formal schooling, they are more settled, they are confident, and they know the place. So that would be a welcoming sight for me and the others also in the environment, that a child is coming happily and waving out to bye mom, see you after some time. I would say 5 to 7 weeks of settling period before we actually start with formal schooling would be a good thing, a good settling period for the child to come in, to know his environment. But that initial period is very crucial for them. So maybe a system like this would help the little ones to settle down at the initial stage, and when the actual schooling starts, they are more comfortable and happy, and they don't have that anxiety issues.
So in settling period, ma'am, what do you mean by settling period? Who should be involved in this settling period, and at what age? What are the right ages?
In a preschool, the settling period is when the child starts with his pre-nursery or nursery. So all this while the child has been in the home environment with his parents, with his grandparents, and in a very protected environment where somebody from the family is always around. And all of a sudden, when parents decide, okay, it's time for them to start formal school, they go to the school, though they take a few days tour to the school to show the environment, but I feel it's not enough for the child to understand that why from a safe, homely environment, he's coming to a totally different environment. So for him to settle down, to get acquainted with the new environment, it is important that one of the parent accompanies the child, maybe for some time, where they have a few games to play together to involve the child and the parent. The school can look into some activities where the parent and the child are together, and they are having a good time together, learning something and having a good time. And slowly and gradually, when the child becomes comfortable with this particular environment, when he knows that there are people around to take care of him in when he is not feeling well, or if he's not in a mood to do something, I feel it makes him more okay with that environment, that even if my mom is not there, there is somebody who's taking care of me, who is like my second mom in this particular environment. So once that feeling comes into the child, I think they are better, they adjust better to the school environment, and they know it's safe, and again, my mom is always there, who will come and pick me up.
Thank you. This was beautiful. I cannot leave you without asking you this last question that comes to my mind. How has your profession changed you as a person? Because you've been in this profession for 28 long years.
Sherene, I would say I've seen all the weathers of this profession. As some of my friends say, you are a seasoned player. I don't know much. I can't say anything on that. But yes, through and through, when I reflect back and when I see myself now, I am a totally changed person with more of patience, and like I can connect to the little ones or their parents very well after understanding them, looking at them, And with the kids, of course, I have been, they've been the joy of my life. So whenever, wherever I see small children, I just mix up with them as one of them. And it's fun to be with them, understand from things from their perspective. And I always, as I always say, learning never stops. So I'm still on that journey. Yes.